Well, that's bizarre. Uh, my intro is not working. That is very, very bizarre that my intro is not working. And that's an echo. So let's get rid of that thing. All right. So welcome out to Tech Thursday. I guess there's a reason that, I guess there's a reason because it's like, why do you keep doing this intro? You don't call it wake up in Cleveland anymore. I don't have an answer for you. I just know that my wife's running a photo booth right now, and I have to run a invoice for her because they're wives, and that's how wives work. Let's change this. There we go. Actually, it might be a little better. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to get. That's a little cleaner. I am trying. So I have to get this done real quick before she goes, because if not, I'm gonna have a very happy wife, and we know how all that works. How's everybody doing today? It is Thursday, almost the middle of June now. We're almost there, so very happy to be almost finished with work. As I've said before, my season is a little different than a lot of people's seasons out there, where my season runs with the school year. So that means from usually the beginning of August, roughly around the middle of August, through the middle of June, give or take. That's our work season. So after that, we take a little hiatus. We do weddings. Strangely enough, we don't do a lot of weddings in July. So we just have a dead spot in our year. So for an entire year, we have parties except for July. This July we do have I think 3 events in July. Not horrible for somebody who usually has no events. Any money that comes in July is great. But then we are fortunate enough that we start the first week of August with like 3 parties. And then it just, builds from there. So very, very happy about that. Because sometimes we would go from like say the last week of June all the way to like August 15th, and we'd finally start working. That's like 6 weeks of no work. It adds up. It adds up. Sorry, let me just handle this real quick. This is so unprofessional. So unprofessional to have a podcast where I'm doing administrative invoices online here. But I don't live with you. I live with my wife, and she does not care what I got going on. So anyway, today, today we are going to talk a little bit about. We'll talk a little bit about your general tech questions and things like that, but we'll also. I think I'm going to load up. I haven't even installed the new Engine OS, so I think we'll do that. And maybe we can talk a little bit about my last Instagram reel, which was the iPad. Fortunately, it wasn't a debacle because I wasn't in a professional environment. I was doing a grad night for my son here at home. So made it a lot easier to switch around. But needless to say, it still happened. Regardless to it being in a pro environment or not, it still happened. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then all of you people, all of you people who need to defend things just to defend things can do that. Meanwhile, I will be telling the truth. uh, uh, Sorry, let me just finish this up. So, how's everybody doing today? I see, the consistent people that are on here, that are typically on here. What's going on, Lance? That's one of my members. We got Angelo, Kevin Toole, and Dean F. Isomatic, Kalo in the house. Okay. Buckley, 7th grade. I'm going to say the same thing over again because this is not my normal invoice. Okay. All right, almost done because invoices are easy. All right. Done. Export this piece out. And okay. Anyway, so let's talk Buckley export. Then we're going to pull open the, we'll use something. I got to figure out which one we're going to use. Maybe we will use, okay, done. Anyway, sorry guys. All right, let's do this. Matthew in the building. What's going on? Hey, look, Matthew's on time today. I'm shocked. I'm kidding. I'm glad everybody can be here, really. Aaron the DJ, Max XPL, DJ Sting, Raleigh, North Carolina in the house. Jay, the last few weeks, the sound has been kind of low. The sound is not low. It's you. I guarantee you it is you. I have not changed anything. As a matter of fact, I turned the volume up, Jay. So I will let everybody else in the chat let me know. Is the sound low? Let me know. I don't know how loud you want the sound to be because I typically replay these in my car and the volume sits right, a little bit right in the middle. So I'll wait for everybody else to tell me. If the sound is low, we'll turn it up. But I don't think the sound is low. I think we're right in the sweet spot. Angela always has to be the pessimistic. Sounds okay. I mean, it's fine. Okay. So, what do we got? What do we got back here? All right. All right. What do we got? Newmark Mixstream Pro Go. We'll use this guy today. Well, thank you, John. Although that is, that's right. I don't have any Ethernets in here. Hopefully I'm close enough. I'm sitting a little farther away from my internet on this side of the house. So, it's not necessarily the best for pulling down data. That's why I'm hardwired in on this side. Literally, I have a router, network router that sits down here on the ground. And it's really the only way I can get internet, or it's trash. And then I start getting buffer issues and all that crap. There we go. Okay. Dean says, thank you. Hold on. Let's pull up Dean here. Dean says, thank you for your all-in-one controller comparison video. Ended up getting a Newmark Pro Go because of it. You mean this guy? Yeah. It's a good controller. My chair keeps falling down. Today is one of those days. Maybe it's because for the past week and a half, I haven't done any exercise. And your body's like, you're fat. You're really fat. Unfortunately, I'm not fat, but I don't feel good about not exercising. I'm gonna have to drop my whole chair down just so I can, like, you know, make this happen. Okay, so go here. Okay. All right. Usually speaking, with Newmark with Engine OS, usually speaking, all I have to do. I have not changed over, guys. We're not there yet. We haven't changed over to fix the problem. I did get the power for the ATEM, so that's one thing that's good. But we're right back to where we were. I mean, it helps to plug it in. I'm not gonna lie to you. It helps to plug this thing in. I'm not quite sure what this white box is. First, I have never seen that before. Not sure what that is. Okay. All right, let's get this on. I'm like, it might be time to get rid of it. It might be time. We might be there. I'm feeling very sad about this. This was one of my favorite controllers here. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh well. A moment of silence for the Live Pro L1 that I've had for a couple of years now. Um, I think it's officially dead. And I reset the computer, so I know it's not that. Anyway, let's see if I can answer some questions while I'm messing with stuff. Hold on. Did I fix it? Ah. Okay. All right. But needless to say, it's on its deathbed. It's going. It's going. This is it's got a couple weeks left. And then it's gone. All right. Where's my power? Uh this might be an issue. That might be an issue. Okay. So I'm not getting any power. It is not turning on. Now, this could be as simple as it being the wrong plug, but I don't think it's the wrong plug. I think it was just fine. Light was on. This is no good. Now, the light's on. That's the charging light right here. So, I plugged this in maybe 2 days ago. And, I mean, the fact that the light's on tells me it's the right plug. But for whatever reason, okay. We're going to get another one. Not this one. We're going to get another board. Please hold for half a second. Okay. So the person that said, Philip, maybe it just needs a minimum charge before it wakes up. Well, it's been plugged in for 2 days. So I don't think that's it. As a matter of fact, here's my Prime Go. Same plug. They use the same plugs, basically. And this one, which was on its dying bed, but look, it's charging. That yellow right there. And it's visually going crazy, which means my frame rate is a little off because I've never seen it do that. What's my frame rate at? $830 frames per second. All right, that's gonna have to do. Okay, so okay. So while we are trying to go through this and the general update, since I have not done anything yet, so let's make that clear. Let's see here. Oh, but now we can use Ethernet because there is an Ethernet port here. Okay. Hey, look, there it is. This is honestly, I mean, this is the best part of what makes Denon and Newmark so good with their software. This update, this right off the bat, you plug it in and you get the engine update. That's fantastic. Okay, update. Please connect the power cord to your Prime Go update firmware, which I have connected. Maybe this is the wrong plug. We'll find out in a minute. It may not like it because I don't have enough power. Please connect your Prime Go. This could be one of those days, guys. It could be one of those days. Wait a minute. So maybe this isn't the plug. Hold on. Okay. So this is not the plug. This is a plug, but it is not the plug. This is one of my biggest problems with being a product reviewer. Label your adapters. I can't label the adapters when some of this stuff is not mine. I have to find the adapters. But you're not wrong though. But I have another one. I have a backup. I know this one will work. But that doesn't stand to reason why the light's on. The light's never on unless it's charging. So very weird that the light would be on the Newmark. Okay. Gotta find a plug. I have to go to my backup.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, thank you for answering the door. You guys available on July 1st? Yeah, we're available. Do you have a brochure I can take a look at? Here you go. This all looks good. Can you send me out a contract? Here's your contract. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, see here. Just go ahead and sign it and send it in your deposit. Okay. Are you gonna sign it? If you need to take some time, go ahead. Just send it in when you're ready. All right, thank you. Hey, sorry I took a little while, but I'm finally ready to sign the contract. So if you can just send me. Yeah, we are no longer available for that date. You're not available? Sorry. Well, can you recommend another DJ?
Okay, let's try this again. All right, first off, all right, we're back to the Pro. I found this just may not be my day. Every so often, my day does not want to work properly. This could be my day. This plug's not working either. Yeah. The joy of not being able to find the right plug. Because none of these are being seated properly. Here's the funny thing. This plug always works. Hey guys, I know, Matt, what you're saying, but you are beating me over the head. I'm missing a plug. I'm sorry. There's only so much I can do. when I set the thing in there, literally USB-C for the Prime Go. Well, that's a whole different story altogether because I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if In Music wants to go USB-C. In all honesty, they've had plenty of opportunities. I have seen, future controllers. There's no indication that they want to move to USB-C. Now, maybe they will at one point, but right now, it doesn't look like it's happening. I'm literally looking over to make sure that my ports aren't working. So let's see if we can answer a question that came through before I throw everything in my house into the trash. Because the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to sit on here and have you guys waiting for no reason. That's dumb. And anytime I have that happen and I'm looking through like my old videos, it drives me nuts. So we don't want that. Okay. So let's get to some questions here. And first question is, make this a little larger. Pause. Someone ask. All right, here we go. Kalo, do people who use Engine OS can use CDJs, or you have to convert the library in Rekordbox? Okay, so CDJs, the library that is used for CDJs in general. I'm not sure if they have the Plus working yet. I haven't tried the Plus out. No, the Plus works too. I have tried the Plus out. Anyway, you can take that CDJ USB stick and plug it into your Prime Go. It will need to convert it. And depending on how large that your files are, how large the storage is, it could take a while. Like anytime I export out my DJ drive is what I call it and throw it in, guaranteed it'll take a few, and not even a few. I mean, the largest one typically takes, I don't know, it can take anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how big your USB drive is. Just depends. But yes, you absolutely can. Okay. I know the plug is just sitting here somewhere. You see, what happened was, it was originally plugged in and charging just fine. This was a couple of weeks ago. And then we had people coming over for my son's graduation and everything. So we did all that. And the cleaning crew moved my plug. And now I have no idea where it is. Sound is okay. I'm at 50%. That's where you want to be. Right about 50%. I'm trying to blast people out. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Anybody have a problem with mix stream pitch fading does not work on the right side? When I move the filter knob, then the pitch changes. The mix stream pitch fader. Okay. So this guy over here, you're saying does not work on the right side when I move the filter knob, this guy, then the pitch change. We'll have to test that out. I haven't experienced that, in all honesty. That's very, very weird. It's weirder? The fact that I can't find a plug for this thing. That's weird. Did they update anything on the desktop software? I believe so, but to be honest with you, I don't use the desktop software. I have never really been a fan of it. Full disclosure. So I tend to avoid it as much as possible. It is just, in my opinion, it's fine. But I've had so many quirks with it. I literally export out of Rekordbox. I take my Serato crates, swap them over to Rekordbox, go into Rekordbox, export it out. That's the easiest way. Now, it's a trade-off because what you're experiencing is either you were waiting for Engine OS on your desktop to export, which is not very fast on the front end, and then you pop it in and you're good, or you export it really fast through Rekordbox, like really fast. It's impressive how fast the export process takes. And then you pop it in and then you have to wait and wait for it to convert. But I don't know. I tend to like it better, and then it works in both systems regardless. Because if you export it out to if you export your Engine OS to an Engine OS drive, you can't use that in CDJs, but you can the other way. So it's a trade-off. It is a trade-off. All right, let's see here. All right. What's the reason? Where'd it go? It's not going USB-C. Real question. Yeah, I think it's a combination of just product they have in house. I mean, remember, they they are big fans of being able to leverage all of their products across the board. So if they were to go that route, I have a feeling that that would mean that everything else would have to go USB-C, and maybe no update to Djay, and maybe until they run out of all their supplies, they're just going to keep it the way it is. But USB-C is the way to go. You know, it's funny though. I've been saying USB-C is the way to go for forever, and there are some people that truly believe that USB-C is a bad port. USB-C is so bad. Your port loosens up, and then your USB-C drops out. I don't know what world these people are living in where that's a thing that happens consistently, because I have now had let's see. I mean, 3 USB-C MacBooks, iPad. I've had an iPad M1 Pro, hence the Djay, since 2018. It's 2004. That's 6 years. The port still works just fine. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure why people say that USB-C is not reliable. I'm really not. I'm really not understanding it. But I see it a lot more. Oh, bro. Ugh. No, man. We need to say USB-A. USB-A is the way to go. In what world? In what world? I'm very, very happy with what I have. I don't plan on going anywhere else. I'm staying USB-C for the rest of my life. All right. I'm really bothered by the fact that I can't find the plug. I thought I had found it. I thought I had found it. If you saw how many plugs I had, it'd be very, very sad. My power adapter on my USB-C on my MacBook Pro is loose, and I had to get it replaced, says James. Okay, I'll give you that. But I think the question that I always have is not so much whether or not you had to replace it, because look, every computer, it's still computer components. My question is, how many people has that actually happened to? That's my question, because I feel like, not you, because you haven't said anything, but I feel like the people that have had the problem are the biggest voices. The biggest voices. And then it turns into a thing where all of a sudden everybody has problems with their controllers. DJ Tech Tools has some USB cables. Yes, I know. I have all of them. And they work just fine. I mean, look, I'm going to say this, not all USB-C cables are created equally. As I've learned over time that, there's all USB is not the same. Some USB is only for power, some USB is only for data. And, you get the wrong cords, it can really screw up your stuff. But that's not the port issue. That is just a USB issue. And we're just so used to a USB-C cord, we always think, oh, it's got to be high end. It's like when we used to look at Thunderbolt cords, we never thought, well, this one's only for power. This one is only for data. We never thought that. But now, since everybody uses USB-C, you have to be a little more cautious of which one. I have several components that are very sensitive to like high speed. That might be a plug over there. That are very sensitive to like, fast charging. They won't even work. They won't work on fast charging. It will kick back. You know what doesn't work on fast charging? Chevy Control ILS does not like fast charging. It will not charge. You have to put a basic old USB-C cable on it. It's the only way that it'll work. In fact, I don't believe that I've gotten it to work with my AirPod Pro plug. The one that looks like a rectangle. Not the small one, but the larger one, the USB-C. It won't charge. I plugged it in. It will not charge off of that. I have to take one of my old USB-C-A plugs, those small, cheap ones that used to come in every box of whatever you bought, and I have a USB-A to USB-C cord. It is the only way it charges. Nephew Washington in the building, what's going on? Kylie says, technically all USB plugs will become worn out over time, not necessarily the ports themselves unless they become broken off. Everything wears. But like I said, I've been rocking this guy for 6 years, and this port is still perfect. I haven't personally had a USB-C port wear out. I haven't personally, but to each their own. I don't know how you people take care of your stuff. I have no idea. You could be like lunging for it or ripping it out, thinking it's old school MagSafe. What? I remember that was the biggest complaint with USB-C when it came to MacBooks. And don't get me wrong. Oh, here's a plug right here. And don't get me wrong. I love me some MagSafe. I use MagSafe any chance I get. My MacBook Pro, it opens up another port, so I'm very happy. But when USB-C came and I got rid of MagSafe, that was the biggest complaint. Travis says, port adapters are a great way to preserve the original port so it doesn't get worn out. Look, okay, so I'm going to say something that is counterproductive from a professional standpoint. I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to agree with. And then I'm going to say something after that says, I don't really care. The thing that I cannot stand, and this is in any environment, okay? Look, my brain, I'm very compartmentalized, okay? What that means is I like to have things be in specific places, okay? So if I have a bag and I have a MacBook charger, if in my other bag there isn't a MacBook charger, I'm going to lose it. So I'll buy another MacBook charger, throw in the other bag. The other bag will have a USB to HDMI adapter, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, and it'll all go in there. Now, why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because I don't like having to add something in the middle of my chain to get something to do something else. For instance, I'm not talking about extreme weather. Okay. So, but my M1 MacBook Pro, you guys remember I had a video on my original 2017 or 18 MacBook Pro i9 processor that overheated on an event that I was on. Had to put it on some ice or whatever. And then I got the M1 and haven't had a problem with heat ever since. But in the meantime, I was using the red computer. You guys know the red computer that I was using. And it worked just fine in the high heat. The problem was it just wasn't a Mac, and I didn't like the keyboard layout, and the screen was terrible, and Windows is terrible, and Windows, and the speakers were terrible. Anyway, but it was a good computer for knowing that you could use it anywhere. Now, I posted that video on the iPad this weekend, the iPad randomly, and I always use randomly because I think that sensor warning is a random thing. But it was here at my house, about 75 degrees, where we always put our DJ table when we're doing like backyard parties and birthdays and all that stuff. I have always had my computer there. Okay, no matter what, and it's been much hotter than it was yesterday. Again, 75 degrees, and it was cloudy for most of it. The sun came out for a couple hours, but we started the party at 3 o'clock. So, so it was on. It was running just fine. I was just Bluetoothing into the LD, not a problem. And I was in the meantime, grabbing stuff, last minute pre-checks for the party before the majority of people start to come. And I go back to my iPad because there's no sound, and I look and it's like, bam, temperature too hot, has to cool off. So I posted that video, and then I said in the video, if you're gonna have a computer, make sure you have one with a fan in it, because fans save all types of problems. And internal fans. My M1 Pro with the fan does not get really hot unless I'm running some sort of unoptimized software. My internals stay somewhere around, idling. It idles at like 60 degrees Celsius. When I'm running it hard, it probably sits at like 79 degrees Celsius. Now, keep in mind, it's a processor, so it's going to be hot. But keep in mind, my old i9 idled at around 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. And then when it was running hot, it would get up to, 110, 120, hot. I've never seen my MacBook go over, I want to say like, I saw it hit 100 one time, and it was unoptimized software. And the fans kicked on immediately, and I'm like, oh, okay. The moment I turned the software off, everything dropped. So back to what I was saying. When people tell me their solutions, and I know they mean it in the best intentions, okay? But when they tell me, get yourself an ice cooler, get yourself 40 fans, do this and do that, I don't want it. I don't want to. Look, everybody's got their thing. This is my thing, okay? I don't want to have to bring things in order for my equipment or my job to work. I don't want to bring extra things. My equipment, my job, everything should run off a certain baseline, okay? That's what I want. But if I got to bring fans, if I got to bring coolers, if I have to worry that there's going to be something that may happen like that, I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, I'm not everybody, and I'm not saying that I am. I know that I'm different. This isn't a rant. How can this be a rant? This is not a rant. You guys are confusing my rants. You will know my rants. This is not a rant. This is just honesty. Yeah, Matthew says the only thing that actually works is cooling gel pads. They hold your laptop from sliding and help dissipate heat, but they should need it. And that's my whole point. I don't really want to bring things that I don't need, you know? And it was funny too, because I was talking about this thing and people were like, you need to get a cooling pad. You need to do this. And I'm like, guys, I'm talking about my iPad. So, I mean, I assume they have some sort of maybe, but keep in mind, I'm using a keyboard. So I have the iPad with the keyboard. I'm not trying, there's nowhere to put the cooling pad unless you make a keyboard case for the iPad that is a cooler too. Yeah, Ronnie, I don't know what to say. I mean, like I said, when people say MacBook Pro, you have to be more specific about it now. We can't just say MacBook Pro. So I need to know what the actual Pro you were using was. Is it an M1? Is it an i7? Is it an i9? Is it the newer MacBook Pro with the single fan? You know, I need specifics here. The Intel machines were crazy. They were crazy. I'm so glad we've left that. Insane. Yeah. So and again, I know that the M1 iPad temperature sensor is a very it's very weird. I've had my phone sitting like in my car center column before, and the sun was hitting it for a little while, and I looked down and it's like, bam, temperature. And it's absolutely a sensor. It's probably a sudden rise that it doesn't know how to comprehend. But I was talking to my guy Drew, and I had mentioned, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna get a new iPad because the new iPads have copper cores or copper heat sinks. And he said it's not gonna matter. But I don't know if it will or not. I mean, on the new ones, this thing right here, it is a copper heat sink that runs all the way through. Now, I don't know exactly what that means because in my mind, if it is a copper heat sink and there is heat coming out, is it going to be super hot right here? I mean, I'm sure they've thought about this and I'm probably overthinking it, but the fact is, it dissipates heat better. But I don't want, look, the dream of the iPad, it works for some. Okay. iPad and algorithm DJ works for some. It's still not where I need it to be. Oh, well, yeah. Well, there is it right there. Like I said, it's 100% the i9. Your M3 is not going to experience that. Not going to experience that at all. I know you're scared. But you can let it go. Okay. I really want to find this charger. Anyway, all right, let's see here. All right, Ruben says, where do you get graphics for Resolume 2? Did you figure out the sound issue you had with it? Yeah, we figured that out on the show. Thanks to Philip. He spotted it out with his eagle eyes. I did not. I get my videos. I mean, look, there's literal sites designed for it. Motion VFX, Motion Array. You know, those are two of the larger ones. And I'm a member now, so I just pay a monthly fee, and then I can download as much as I want, over and over again. It's actually improved everything since I've gotten that. So, shade isn't a bad thing. Prevents the sun from. Okay, so yes, Philip is absolutely right. I want to make something clear. I don't run for the sunlight. Okay, I actually hate the sun. Um, all I'm saying is that I don't fear the sun like I used to, you know. But if I can get in shade just for my own comfort, I'm going to get in the shade. You know, that's definitely one thing. But if I can't, we happen to have two places for our plugs at my house and in the backyard. One is right by the house, right on the patio deck, and then we have a gazebo um, where I could run another one, and that's under the gazebo. So I could have put it there, but we needed to have space for people to sit and eat and talk and do the thing and blah blah blah. Hence, I suffered. Uh, uh, this is true. Uh, all right. Mariba says, quick question: how do you handle power with all your equipment at your gigs? Well, um, I mean, that's kind of an interesting question and kind of a scary question at the same time. Because I think everybody should kind of understand their power requirements, what they need in order to be able to run a successful event. And I get, certain times you might run into issues where you get something new and you don't realize, how much heat or how much power is being pulled and you pop a circuit. I learned that I have some surge protectors that I've used religiously forever. They got 50-foot cords on them. Love them. They're really, really convenient. But the one thing I learned, and I did not experience this with my SRX speakers, the 800 series, not the 828s, but just a single 800s, 818s, I should say. I didn't experience it with that. I didn't experience it with the Bose system, even running two of those, unless I do one thing. And uh and I don't have it in with my LDs. And the issue was the surge protectors, have all surge protectors have circuits built in, and there's a power rating, and if you go above that power rating, it doesn't like it. Now these are some big surge protectors. They don't like my QSCs. So, and it's not the QSCs. QSCs are fine. It's just those surge protectors. So I can run them into a splitter and they'd be just fine. I just have to run them directly into an outlet or into a splitter that's not my main ones. So, in general, the best thing to do in general is to make sure you buy power efficient things. So that means, get away from non-LED products. If you're running powered systems, typically you're usually fine in general. Most people are running line arrays anyway, and line arrays don't typically take out power unless you're running in like cardioid mode. That's the only time I've ever had problems with the Bose in my power switches was running in cardioid mode. But if you don't, typically fine. Obviously the power outlets that you're running off of, they make a difference, because you can get some that are, 10 amp, you can get a 15 amp, you can get a 20 amp. All right. But if you're playing out of a regular somebody's home, that plug might be a 10 amp or a 15 amp circuit. If it's 15, it's fine. But at 10, you never know what could happen. Now, remember, every piece of gear you have has a wattage and an amp and an amperage. You're not supposed to go over whatever that amp says. So if you're rocking a 10 amp plug, well, you have to make sure that everything that's going in there does not exceed 10 amps, or your chances are you are going to pop the circuit. So, there are meters you can buy that plugs right into the circuit. It'll tell you if it's a separate circuit. It'll tell you, how much power is coming out of it. and that usually helps. But if you don't want to do all of that, the most important thing to understand is that just make sure that your stuff that you're using is very energy efficient. So again, I run pretty much all battery powered uplights. So I never plug anything in. Even my movers right now are battery powered. So that I can get away from it. I only want my speakers to really be drawing the most power, not anything else. So if you got cold sparklers, like for instance, last weekend we had 200 people. So yes, we were rocking like the SRX 900 system, cold sparklers, 4 sets of movers. So it was pulling a good amount of power. You got to separate that power out. You can't run them all in the same circuits. So this is a very long story, but it really does depend on what you're using. Okay. Any news on Twitch copyright for DJs? I mean, you can go look at Twitch, Tweak Music Tips. Go look at his Instagram. He's got, pretty much all the information right from the horse's mouth. So it's not here yet. I don't think it'll be here until after summer. I think August is the projected timeline, but who knows? Things could happen. And then at that point, yeah, you'll be sharing revenue. Now, I don't know how much. I haven't looked into the details specifically because I haven't been on Twitch. I mean, so I haven't really looked into it. And it was never really a money thing for me anyway. But, I just want to know how much money they're taking from you. That's all. Okay. I bought from Motion Loops, but they're down at the moment. Yeah, I haven't heard of Motion Loops. But I'm sure they're all fine. There's so many sites out there, honestly. Mixmaster G in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. All right, let's see here. Okay. Well, have I hit all the questions? I have the Prime Go. Any speaker recommendations? Any speaker you want. This is a loaded question because I don't know what type of party you're doing. I don't know the size or scale. I don't know if it's for your house, for your bedroom. So it's not a question that I can just answer off the top. DJ Draz says, I just got the Rev 7. Which effects is your favor on it? Echo and high pass filter. Those are my favorites. Every so often, I'll rock a duck down and a reverb. So echo, reverb, break, duck down. Those are the 4 that I use. If I'm going to use anything, duck down, use very sparingly. Break, using very sparingly. Echo and reverb, I use like, salt and pepper. All right. All right. All right. So we're saying, yes, just like your significant other. Christian Montari in the building. What's going on? This is true, Matt. This is the problem. I don't know why anybody would put limitations on their stuff. Okay. If you buy a cheap cable, you get cheap results. Oh, Ruben. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there is a fine line between a cheap cable, and this goes for anything out there. XLRs, power, extension cords. I think there is a line. And I think people go from cheap cords to uber expensive. But the facts are uber expensive, have failure points too. And usually uber expensive are not any better than middle of the line cords. So, but middle of the line gets this kind of like weird thing where nobody wants to talk about them, but they're just as good and just as reliable. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what a cheap cable is. I mean, I know what a cheap cable is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where one would necessarily buy a cheap cable and then an expensive cable, and in the middle where you have, you know, an entire industry making like just good quality cables. People are like, nah, if it's not this one, it can't be any good. Okay. Okay. All right. Chroma cables for the win. Chroma cables are great, but I honestly don't think they're uh, miles better than any other cord out there. I only buy chroma cables because I like the colors. It has nothing to do with the quality of the cable. I have a white Danny Max booth. I'd like a white cable to come out of the box. It's simple stuff like that. I have some orange cables. Orange is my favorite color. I have an orange and a blue. I use those when I'm out and I'm not plugged into my stuff. But I just like the colors and they're easy to spot. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. And I have found that the Bose, strangely enough, I think the Bose has some shielding issues. Not necessarily, I mean, it's going to be the L1, which something in there has a shielding issue because if I ever use anything that is questionable, I'll get feedback hum. And it was only on a very specific surge protector that I would get feedback hum. As the moment I switched it out, it was just fine. But it only happened with the Bose speakers, only once. So anyway, okay, let's see here. Ray, you need to be more specific with your question. It depends on what you're doing. What do you need it for? So we need to be specific, or else I'm just going to answer. I'm just going to answer, but you need to be more specific. DJ Rook, XLR or mic cable do get heat and overheat by sunlight that changes the sound quality. True or not? No. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to tell you yes. Okay. I'm going to tell you that I've not experienced a difference in sound quality from something being out in the sun. Overheating is a relative thing. I mean, these cords get pretty hot regardless of if they're in the sun or not. That's why they're insulated to protect from that kind of stuff. But I'm going to come out and say no. I have seen circuitry, like my old Eons were notorious for hating to be out in direct sunlight, and they would turn themselves off because the heatsink couldn't get the heat out enough, and it didn't like it. But I've never experienced that with cables, ever, personally. What are your thoughts on in-ears instead of headphones? Well, I use in-ears religiously. So my thoughts are very simple. I like them. I don't, you know, I have some custom molded Ultimate ears and they sound amazing and they feel amazing. So I'm never going back to a regular over the ear. Now, do I have over the ear headphones? Yes, I have a V Moda. I have a Pioneer. I got a Yamaha. I got them all. And when I'm in the house and like I'm working on a set, I'm DJing this Saturday and I'm just working on some music and playing some new music. Yes, if I don't want to pull out my in-ears, I'll just drop the headphones on. Works just fine. You know, but if I have a choice, I'm in-ears all day. All day. And there's benefits to in-ears. One, you get a better seal in general. You're able to wear whatever hat you want to wear, or if you don't want to ruin your, your afro or your, like my son, I gave him my old Mackie in-ears because he was like, I don't want to wear headphones because it messes up my hair, Dad. Take these things. So, and if you're wearing like a fedora, you can't wear over the ear headphones. They just don't work. So, all right. Anyway, let's go back. Matthew, what do you recommend? Ray's Retro. You can't do this, right? You got to go listen. None of them have better bass. Okay. They're not designed for that. They're Mackie Thump Goes and Bose S1s. They're not designed to be putting out a good amount of bass. They're fine for like a cocktail speaker. They're fine for a ceremony. They're not fine for a party. They're fine if you're doing a backyard pool party. They will be decent. Okay. But I found that the S1 is prone a little more to over pushing. I've used both of them as booth monitors. I find that the Mackie Thumb Go has a better, it's just a little more open than the S1. The S1's fine. They're both fine. But I think bang for buck, you're not going to find anything as good a quality and for the price as the Mackie Thumb Go. Just bang for buck. You're not going to find it. Everything else is going to cost you twice as much. So we can go there. All right. Ruben says, if you're playing at a bar that has an all-in-one and it fails, what do you do? Asking for a friend. You do nothing. If their all-in-one fails and that's what they told you had to use, then it fails. Party's over. Pay me my full rate. It's not my problem. Yours. I mean, in all honesty, can you throw a backup in the car? Absolutely. Absolutely throw a backup in the car. But the reality is, it's not always your job to save people. Now, yeah, you want to make them look good? Cool. Do your thing. But if I walk in there like, this is what you use and you only use this and you can't bring anything else, and I'm like, well, I hate this thing. I'd love to bring them. Nope. So I don't bring anything and then it dies. You'll have to send it in. And then in the meantime, you can bring the controller you want to bring. But yeah. I mean, it'd be the same thing as if you were DJing a nightclub. I mean, like right now, this Saturday, I'm DJing a nightclub. They have an S9 and some Reloop 3000s. Let's just say, for instance, the S9 decided to die on me, right? The club would be over unless they provide another thing, because you don't go to a club thinking that their stuff's going to fail. That's their job. So, okay. Sig says, let's see. Should I invest in QSCs versus any beginner DJ speaker? I'm a little annoyed. I still got to find my plug. It might be in the car. It might be in my truck. We'll check that just in case. Okay. So QSC versus any beginner speaker. Now, my simple question to any of this ever is are you a beginner? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you just starting out? Are you thinking that right now it's time to uh start DJing professionally and now you're looking? Or is this for your house? Is this just for your hobby? You know, are you, you know, middle-aged like me, but yet you're just starting to start out again and you're like, oh, I just want to DJ my kids' school dances. You know, is it something like that? Like, I need more details. You know, a lot of people in here ask very vague questions, but you guys expect detailed answers. You ask me a vague question, I'm going to answer you with a vague answer. And I don't want to do that. I want to answer you specific to you. I'm not a beginner, but I don't have any speakers for gigs. Okay. So look, this is a very, very simple one. Look, the better speakers you have, the more options you have. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you can't get away with getting, you know, a cheaper price, but quality speaker. You know, the Ecoa line from LD is great. And those things are pretty affordable when you compare it to like everything else. Like their sub prices stupid low. Yeah, they're bigger than most, but they sound amazing. The QSCs, if you don't have a system at all, I wouldn't even recommend. Again, this is a budget thing, okay? And I don't know your budget, but if you don't have any speakers, I would not recommend going out and buying, you know, 12-inch tops and some 18-inch subs. I would tell you to get just two 15s and call it a day. You know, get yourself, like I'm a big fan of the SRXs, the SRX 850, the 815s. Now they have a 915. No, they don't even have a 915 anymore. The 900 series went array, which is slightly annoying. But the 800 815s are they're great sounding full range speakers. Then they have great low end. It's really one of the only speakers I've ever heard that I could do a, you know, 100 to 130 person party with just the tops. And so I'm a big fan of those. Sam says, like the Rev 7, is it worth waiting for something like a Mark II if that's coming out with different field jogs? I like 2 channels. The Rev 5 felt too light and toyish for me. The jogs aren't going to change. I don't believe the jogs are going to change because there's nothing wrong with the jogs on the Rev 7. So I doubt you're going to see a different feeling jog. I think that's it. So, and I do not believe that I gotta plug that in. I do not believe that you're gonna see a Rev 7 update anytime soon. I don't really think it's necessary. I mean, even if it was a Mark II, they would just fix a couple of tweaks, and I think whatever failure points they had when they first released it, you know, I think they fixed them since then. So I don't think that's a problem. And yeah, now we're dealing with the 2 channel versus 4 channel because obviously, very soon, I will be reviewing the Performer, and then people can figure out what they want to do. I want to find my power. G Kitty in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. I got the and. I don't know what that means, Wolfer. Okay. Lopes, is there a way to change the track color code on the MP3 track itself? I know I can do it via my DJ software. The problem is the track defaults back to what is coded in the MP3 track. Track color code? Are we referring to, I mean, track color codes are very specific to the DJ software you're using. It's not saved in the metadata. So I doubt it. I doubt it. Now, of course, you do have, like in Serato, the side color, which you can label. And if I send that to somebody and they pull it in, that's in the metadata. That color will show up. But the actual track color itself, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that. Okay, let's see here. Mac Attack says, I want the Rain Performer just to see the glut of Rev 7s on the used market. I don't think you're going to see that. I don't think you're going to see that. I'm going to do a comparison video at the, right after the release. But I will tell you this. I think it's a matter of preference. It's a matter of preference. I can't say much, but I think that people who love Rain are going to buy Rain, and people who love Pioneer are going to stay Pioneer. That's just my opinion on it. There's going to be people that are going to try it. People who want that 4-channel life. Well, I would say hybrid 4-channel life. Hybrid, not complete 4-channel life, because you can't use 2 of them, just like the Rain 4. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been known, but on the Rain 4, you only have the 2 tracks. I got my track set up red for dirty, green for clean, so I don't play the wrong version. Everybody's different. Mine is set for red when it's a heater. I don't have time to label dirty and non-dirty. That's why I put that in the comments. Explicit, dirty, clean. That's not in the comments. That's in the title of the song. But my labels are for just quick highlights. Hey, that's a heater. I'm playing a Persian party and I don't speak the language, but I know that this thing written in this language in this script is got a red by it, so it's dope. I'm playing that. I know I'm gonna get a good reaction from that. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. I prefer Rain 4, says DJ Baby Boy. and I think that anybody that prefers the Rain 4 over the Rev 7, I think doesn't really like moving jogs. Because I think if you prefer moving jogs, the Rain 4 didn't make sense for a lot of people. Which is why there's now a Rain with moving jogs coming out. I wish Rain would get an engine DJ treatment. I agree 100% with you, Tyler. I think I think it's necessary. When it does come out, you guys will look back at the videos I've said this so many times. If they would make an all-in-one with moving platters, I think it would be a game changer. Now, it would still have to be able to run Serato, okay? But an all-in-one with moving platters, that would be me. I'd be in it all day. All day. My music's already on here? Oh God, please. Yes, please. Anyway. Wolfer Cooker. Y'all and your names, man. The Denon Prime Go is still a good deal. I want to buy one so badly. I don't know. This thing is not too old. What do you think? I think it's old. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's old. Look. I got one right here. Right here. And I still think it's old. I think what I would like to see from a Denon Prime Go Mark II, I want to see, don't ask me why that's there. I want to see, roughly, roughly the same size. Okay. But I want it to be a little bit wider to account for, doesn't have to be this wide. Okay. Cause look, we're lining it up here. Doesn't have to be this wide. All right. This is probably 5 to 6 inches. All right. But, and you guys would just pause. I know you. I'm glad Pablo Miami's not here. I'd like to see at least, I mean, the 4 is fine, but it'd be great if they could do 8. But more importantly, I would like to see these speakers come to the Denon Prime Go. That's what I want to see. I want to see is just a set of speakers right here. That way I can practice on it. I can do my thing. This next one better run Serato because I'm still not happy that it doesn't run Serato. And what else would I like to see? I'd like to see better jogs, slightly bigger. I don't necessarily care that, they're this, but it'd be nice if they could have better jog and 100% a better fader. Fader is trash. Fader is trash. But for the time being, I have been using this guy because of the speakers. I can sit on my couch and DJ. I can sit and use Serato or use Engine and be just fine. So that's where I am. That's where I am. Okay. I wish they could give us the update. I wish they would give us an update to the Prime Go so we can use stems. Well, you can. Just use virtual DJ. Problem solved. And to be fair, virtual DJ is really good on the Prime Go. Virtual DJ is really good on Engine. So for most people, but yeah, they don't have to. I mean, stems is not hardware specific. All right. And the price will be $3,000. That's fine. Look, first off, the price is the price. The market will determine what the price is. The consumers will determine if it's too expensive or not anybody else, the consumers. So if it is $3,000, but it does everything you want it to do. I mean, there's this weird thing because I know that like a lot of times, Alpha Theta, Pioneer DJ will come out with something and people will be like, it's too expensive. I could bro, I could do this and this and this and this. Fine. I'm okay with that. I'll let that go. But in all honesty, let's just say, for instance, right now, there was a product. Let's say it's Denon Prime Go, right? Let's say they come out with the Prime Go that is the best Prime Go ever. But it's $800 more than every other controller out there. But it's the best. And chances are it's got swappable batteries, an amazing fader. The jogs are like butter. Microphone outputs for days. It gives you an extra. Now you have 4 mics. Why not? 4 microphones. 4 microphone outputs. You got zones on the Prime Go. You got speakers. Let's say it's the perfect controller, but it's $800 more. But you never have to buy another controller. You gonna tell me that you're gonna be like, it's too expensive? Are you gonna say, this is the last controller I'll ever buy, or last controller I'll buy for a long, long time? Dude, why are you yelling? I don't respond to all caps, bro. And I'm going down the list. So I need you to be patient. But you do not have to do all caps. That's a smack in my face. All right, let's see here. Rich Mix says, is the Mixon 8 Pro hype over, or do you still use it? Man, I sent that thing back a long time ago. I was never going to use it like everybody else because I'm not an iPad DJ. So that was never going to be a thing for me. And as a Serato controller, I said it in my video, as a Serato controller, it's basically a SX3. And I'm not a big capacitive jog fan. So it was never gonna happen for me. Now, the question is the Mixon 8 Pro hype over? I will say that the Mixon 8 hype was over before I even reviewed the product because it took too long to come out. It was essentially dead in the water. Is it solid? Absolutely. Does anybody remember it now? No. There's too many other options. There's too many other options. All right, and now back to screaming. Mixon 8 comes with a lot of problems. Please, can you tell us a little bit about it? What are you talking about? Tell you about what? The problems? Or tell you about the mixer? I have a full-on video. You can watch my video review on the Mixon 8 and you can get all the details there. I go into extreme detail as always on my videos. So check it out there. I don't know if you're asking me or you're telling me. So I'm a little confused. Okay. If they made the 707 with motorized platters and paddles, I'd be in heaven. That controller is Bay. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Agreed. Agreed. Kenny says, hey, bro. That's not how he said it. What would be your secondary controller behind the Rev 7? Would you choose the T7 or the Performer? I played on the T7. I was feeling it is as a good secondary. Wanted to know your thoughts. I can't give you my thoughts right now. You have to wait until the embargo lifts. I can't. But I will say this. The T7 is a solid backup. Is a solid backup. I am not sure. I can't tell you. I can't say too much, man. Can't do it. I will say this. The mic EQ is trash on the Hercules SPL. You're correct. It's fine. It's okay, but it's fine. I will say this. I'm trying to be politically correct right now. I don't believe that the Rev 7 or the soon to be released Performer are backup controllers at all. I don't believe that. I don't think either one of them should be used as a backup controller. I think they're both great. Now, here's my thing. I will say this one thing. I am a guy. I am a guy. But I'm a guy that likes, again, we're back to compartmentalizing, okay? I have my controller in my Danny Max booth, right? But I also have gigs where I don't bring the Danny Max booth. And in that case, I would need another controller for those types of parties. So what I'm saying here is that one or the other would go in my Danny Max booth and I'd be completely content. And that's all I'm going to say. But I don't consider either of them backups. I would say, obviously there's weight issues and things like that. So there's things that come into play that I feel like once the video is released, you will know. This is what I would say. No spoiler alert video. Okay, let's see here. No, come on, man. The one thing I'm exceptionally good at. I'm very good at avoiding verbally getting into trouble. It's just something that I've worked really, really hard on my entire life. Not saying absolutes and getting yourselves into trouble. I don't know if you have noticed that about me or not, but that's just the way I work. Speaking of booth, still liking the expensive Humpter. It's not expensive if you like it. You know what I mean? Like I'm it is okay. So we have different price points, right? For our packages. Pause. Don't even go there. That sounded horrible. But we have different price points. And Depending on what you want, the price may be higher or lower. Okay. But our packages, the things that we offer, are the same. The only difference is something that you absolutely got to have versus something that is requested. Okay? That's the only difference. The quality of service, the quality of what we provide is the same. Now, say this because every so often I'll get people that are like, "You're too expensive. You're too expensive. The average guy only charges this." And I said, "We're not expensive. We're about the same price. What do you mean? You're this much more?" No, that's on our guaranteed and our premium packages. We have a regular package. It's a request-based package. You're still going to get the same quality. Just some people have to have a certain thing. So what I'm getting back to, what I've said forever, and my partner says this too, you know, and it's probably where I got it from. But he said, it's not our job to tell people what is too expensive for them. Now, just because you feel it's too expensive, and just because, like, for instance, I can look at something and be like, yeah, that's too expensive. That's not my job to tell you it's too expensive. Is it too expensive for you? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe you got all the money in the world, and you know you're looking at like for you like a 1% inflationary increase, but for everybody else it's like $1,000. But for you, it's like, oh, it's no big deal. Whatever, I got money. So it's not my job to tell you what's expensive. So when people say the Humpter booth, the Humpter stands are expensive, it's like, well, is there any other booth like that in existence that you can just fold up and carry away? I'm not talking about rolling one out. No, there's not one that exists right now. Will there be? Very likely. Okay. So I can't, when you're the only when you're the only game in town, I can't say that something is too expensive. It's too expensive for you, which is why I don't get mad at Humpter and the fact that they came in at the price they did. They came in at the price. People are buying them. They can't even keep them. They can't keep them in the stores. So then they're not too expensive. If they keep booking them, if they keep selling them, they're not too expensive. They're just too expensive for you. Now, the stands, it's not that the stands are too expensive. The stands are very, very good. I know for a fact if they drop those stands down by about 400, they would sell them like crazy. I don't think that a stand or a side piece should be the same price as the full booth. I don't feel that. But again, not my decision. We'll let the market choose. You know, and right now the market's saying, I don't care because there's nothing like it, and they've made it very, very convenient for me. I can keep it in a booth bag. So there's that. Okay, Philip says, now that Serato supports M chips, oh, excuse me. Do you think Serato will? No, I don't. No, I don't. Serato only has so much manpower, and keep in mind, okay, I will say this. Serato is in no way even remotely thinking about it. They had the opportunities, but when I say that is, people are using their iPads and their iPhones for Djay. The question isn't that people are not using them. The question is, how many people? Is it even, when we really look at like the numbers, is it really huge? Why would Serato, I use this in the softest way possible, why would Serato waste time making an iPad app that nobody cares about when they need to do a full rewrite of Serato DJ Pro. You know, they have full rewrite of Serato DJ Pro. They got Serato Studio that's selling like crazy and people are loving it. So they're going to keep enhancing Serato Studio. They have, what's the other one? Serato Sample. But most people aren't asking for iPad versions. That's just facts. Now, if you have an iPad, is it convenient? Absolutely. But not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. You know, I mean, I'm for instance, I'm interested to see exactly how many people are using the Record Box phone cloud streaming as they DJ. Like, how many people are using that exclusively? I mean, we're talking about professionals, and I think that professionals, there's a limit to how far professionals will go. Yes, there are people running professional DJ businesses off their iPads and using DJ. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I am saying that the majority of people feel more confident and more comfortable with the computer, knowing they have different options. You know, I mean, look, for instance, okay, if I'm on an iPad and I'm using DJ, right? And one of their limited pieces of gear. All right. I know that there are certain things that I can and can't do. If my iPad goes down, yes, I can plug in my phone. Potentially, if you got the right cords. All right. If the hardware goes down, you know, now we're looking at a whole different animal. And if you need to get another piece of hardware, you borrow from a friend, it's a possibility. It may not work with DJ. So I think when people, you know, drop into an ecosystem like a Serato, like a Record Box, like an Engine, they do it knowing that if something were to come up, they have options. You know, I use Serato, and the reason I don't use DJ, the main reason I don't use DJ, simple. One reason, the biggest reason, because I can use DJ on my computer. I have a Rev 7. I have a DDJ 1000. But the main reason is because I jump around on gear. And I needed to work on all the gear. And I wouldn't personally buy a Pioneer only controller. A Record Box only, I should say. So I know that every piece of gear that I use, it's going to be able to work with my computer. I can't make that argument with DJ. Okay. Everything is too expensive right now, Tyler. Everything. We're all dealing with it. Nobody's safe. I'm dealing with it right now. And I'm always a very unhappy man during July. I was going to say July, because that's when all the money stops coming in. We got to work off savings. We're like a teacher, in all honesty. That's the only time, because everything's so expensive that I'm watching my income just fall away. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, let's go out and buy this nice shiny object. No, let's go get food. It never used to be a thing. Food at the grocery store versus food at the restaurant used to be so grossly different, it did not make sense to necessarily go out to eat every night. Because, you know, food was, let's say the restaurant was, you know, for 3 or 4 people, let's say the restaurant was $60, $70 a night, but you could make a meal for, you know, $15 and it would last for 2 nights. Not anymore. Now, a regular meal for 4 people at the grocery store, if I'm talking making food, not like buying it out of the freezer, but making food, is $30, $35 now. But the restaurants are 95 to 100 now. So you can't win. You can't win. So everything's expensive, is what we're saying here. Where did that go? Have you used Crate Hackers? Sig, is this your first time here? Yes, I've used Crate Hackers. I have. Have you used Heavy Hits? Yes. What is this? Have I used today? Is that what we're doing? Have I used? Yes. But is there a question after that question? Ask that question. Let's be more efficient in our questions and answers. All right. But if you're making a good effing app, maybe you fall in some kind of love and just use it in your every gig. Nah, it doesn't exist. There's not one app that I've been like, oh, this is perfect, because they all have their quirks, you know. Djay can read my Serato crates, so that's a great thing. Okay. iPad cannot read my Serato crates. I got to go through music. I got to export out of there. I don't want to do all of that. I don't. They need an easier way. You need an easier way. So it's not there yet. It's good. It's 100% a good backup. When I'm using the Rev 7, I have my Serato on one, and then I have my iPad either sitting to the side or on the other stand. And every so often, let's say look, Serato is solid, but the facts are their streaming needs a lot of work. The fact that you can only stream one stream is different. The fact that you can only use Tidal, BeatSource, SoundCloud, etc. Can't use Apple Music, but you can on the iPad, and I'm an Apple Music guy. So, in the event I need to run a song real quick, or I need to reset Serato or whatnot, I have it right there, and it works just fine. But if I got to use that thing continuously, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, something that I could always get used to. Okay. Just sent you an IG story with Juggle and Scratch of Craze and Qbert comments. You're not gonna get anything from me. I don't know what the beef is. I've seen the video, but I don't know what the beef is. In case you're wondering, Craze dropped a video just talking mad trash to Qbert. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it happened. I just know, I don't claim to know Craze, but obviously we share the same circles. So I have heard him, be Craze. I've heard him say things Craze like, and so this isn't anything new, Craze, which is extremely validated. Doesn't like people questioning his skill sets. And he will let you know. So I don't know what happened. I don't know, but we're not going to go there. I spent a lot of time going there during the pandemic. I don't need to go there. Anyway, I have a Taylor Swift themed gig this weekend too, and I'm using some of Taylor's versions. Let's see how it goes. The Taylor's versions go just fine, Red. There's really no difference, honestly. And the Swifties know when you're not playing the Taylor's versions. They'll literally tell you, you make sure you play the Taylor versions of these songs. I want to make sure she gets paid. That jet airplane doesn't fuel itself. Anyway. True School in the building. All right. Philip Diaz says, since you've used both Everse 8 and Thumb Go, how do they compare sound volume wise? guys have to stop asking this question. Look, I've said this. I will continue to say this. Simple. The Everse is a better speaker. Okay? It's a better speaker. I don't think I'm saying anything that nobody knew. I never said that it was a comparison. What I said was, hear my words. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I don't get in trouble. Okay? What I said was, dollar for dollar, it's the best speaker for the money that you can buy. Is the Everse better? Yes. Is it night and day better? Absolutely not. And that's the difference. But the Everse is a better speaker. Okay? But I've been very happy rocking Thumb Goes. I think sometimes people look at things and they're like, oh, the badge. I only use Everse on my wedding ceremonies. Oh, I don't care. I've never had anything sound crappy coming out of the Mackie Thumb Goes. So, I'm not that guy. I'm not really a snob. And I think DJs are very snobbish. And DJs want to dictate. Okay, for instance, my guy Tyler from not this Tyler, but my guy Tyler from Harvest of Sound. Okay, Tyler Wallace. He was posting something, I think it was on idea sharing or whatever, and he was posting his new ceremony setup. Now, he had two different mic packs in there. One of them was the Phoenix Pro, the P71s, okay? And he had to say, this isn't what's staying in here. This is going away. This is somewhere else. Now, I don't have a problem with that. If you don't like the microphones, I don't have a problem. But you see where we are? We have to defend what we use because we're afraid that people are going to jump down our throats when they see. Okay? I have to, no lie, I have to make sure that that when I post videos, that I don't have, cords everywhere and the tape being all weird, because I know that people are going to talk some shit and I'm not into it. Solstice, who we actually have a good relationship, he made this sign behind me, DJ Solstice. My video when I was talking about the Pro X booth. By the way, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you're missing out on a lot of videos because I do a lot of stuff on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's just Cleveland Terry _ Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Anyway, and I did the review and I knew it because we hadn't finished taping. We had just started locking it in place before we put the larger piece on. And he was just like, hey man, you want to talk about that tape job, that gaff job? I know he's kidding, but that's the world we live in. And I just see now this is where a rant would start. Okay. Just so we're clear on when a rant is happening. I just don't personally think that anybody that is staring at you from a website critiquing your business has any place to stand on. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I'm booked. I'm booked. And I'm booked every weekend for multiple years. And I'm not saying just me. I'm using it in general. So I think I'm doing something right. So all these, armchair people, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, that's strange because I'm still getting booked. So maybe it's not as important as you think it is. That's why I usually don't comment. That's why. You said it, not me. That doesn't mean I don't disagree. Uh, um, so I say literally, do your thing, man. If it works for you, it works for you. Now I have quietly and slowly updated a lot of my gear. Okay, the stuff that I use. My partner, by the way, my partner uses the Humpty Booth. I still use my Danny Max. I love my Danny Max, and I'm an ambassador. So there's no reason. Oh, that video is coming out today. I finally have time. Finally got slow. But yeah, so I use my Danny Max booth. And but like the quality, I'm not gonna lie, okay? That by improving my furniture has done more for me than anything else out there. As far as just compliments, looks, matching the decor. It's been the best. I've gotten more compliments on my Danny Max booth than I've gotten on any other piece of thing. And I mean, I've rocked Danny Max booth and gig bars, and not one person, they've been like, "Oh my god, it's beautiful setup, beautiful setup, beautiful setup." Party planners, oh, this is perfect. So, that's I think there are things that are more important than, we love our lighting and stuff, but lighting, people don't really care about lighting. They care that you have lighting. They don't care about it. They don't care as long as it doesn't look like an eyesore. There's just, I don't know, man. I feel like do what works for you. I was on idea sharing and somebody was talking about the new, I think they're by Chevet, but the new color washes. It's the same ones. It looks like a kind of octagon. Looks almost like a weird house. Anyway, and it's a wash. It's a wash effect. I have two of the smaller versions. I've never used them. Why? I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they look. And the new ones that came out, I still don't like the way they look. Do they work? Absolutely. I know that who uses some why am I drawing a blank on his name right now? I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, lots of people use them. I just don't like the way they look. I'm a movers or a mover wash kind of guy. I just think that that's just a cleaner look for me. But if you want to do what you want to do what you want to do. See what I'm saying? Like, just do you. Don't worry. Oh, Humpter's on its way. There you go, Jeff. Yeah. No, it's a good board. I mean, I was gonna review it and then I did not, and I have it. So I can always review it at any point, especially over the summer. Which I still might do. But yeah, maybe. Okay. I had a full on Instagram fight. I had posted one of my older setups, and I think they were just on my stuff, and people think that the reason that my company is so successful is because I'm on YouTube. This was a real thing that people think. But they didn't know that I had a company well before I ever had YouTube. And people were just like, your equipment is not that good, and oh, I'm going to come over there and show them, and I'm going to show these people, what they're missing out on, and I'm going to take all your business. Go ahead, take my business. If you're good enough, take my business. I've been saying that for, well, 15 years, almost 16 years. Now, the reason that I'm saying that is not out of cockiness. And I want people to understand the difference. This has nothing to do with cockiness. This has to do with the fact that I don't stop trying to improve my business. I don't, my bar for mediocrity is so much lower than everybody else's. Like if something's not working, it's gone. It's gone. And I know what works and what doesn't work. So, uh, the reason that the reason that we keep getting business is because we keep doing good jobs. We are consistently good. And that's the most important part. And we're constantly improving. And the number one thing, which I think most people need to do more of, and they don't, um, especially if you're running a multi-op. If you're running a multi-op and you got your core crew of DJs and whatnots, right? If somebody comes in and they're better than those people, you move them. Let's say you got a hierarchy, right? You're like, this is my number one DJ, my number two DJ, my number three DJ, my number four. If somebody comes in and they're better than number one, well, then number one becomes number two. You have to understand your business, and business, you're only as good as your last party, and think about when you have 15 parties going on at the same time. So consistency, they have to be all good. They don't have to all be great, but they all have to be good. You can't have any bad parties. That's it. When you have a multi-op, that's what you're thinking about. When you're a single op, you're only thinking about that one party. This party has to be great. If it's great, I'm going to get this and so and so. But on a multi-op, they just have to be good. All of them have to be good. Because then what happens is people start to talk. And then they're like, oh, well, who should I get? Who should I get out of this company? And then people are like, they're all good. They're all good. That's it. You get this. I've never been to a bad party. I've never been to a bad check 1-2 party. That's consistency. That sells more than anything. Consistency sells more than, hey, I just saw this one company. They were amazing. They're amazing. And then people are like, cool, maybe I'll use them. And then they're like, oh, well, how many parties have you done? Oh, I've done this one. And, we did another one last year. Oh, so you've done like 4 parties in a year. Oh, okay. Now they're questioning. So consistency. I haven't banned anybody, Jose. Not me personally. That doesn't mean that, let's see here. That doesn't mean that any of my mods haven't blocked anybody. Can't speak to that. I don't know that I can see that from here. I think I have to see it from, hold on. Yeah, can't do it now. But no, I haven't personally blocked you. Okay. What time is it? 12:30. All right. Let me check my schedule here. Okay. How is he on my schedule all of a sudden? Okay. Anyway, so many brand superiority complexes. I mean, I have people right now acting like the QSC system is underpowered, which I laugh at. I laugh at it because I've seen the majority of people and they're all using arrays. And I'm like, you're telling me my QSC system is underpowered when you have line arrays? Stop. My partner, so again, the LD Maui's I think are some of the best out there. The 44s as far as bigger concern. However, my partner has the 44s and he's like, the 44s are fantastic. But there was one place in particular. So the Oprah Winfrey Studios at the Four Seasons Hotel in Westlake Village. He had one time brought the Bow system. And tell you the story. I always tell the truth. These are just real stories so people can understand where it's coming from. He was in that thing. for whatever reason, he had that one. I don't know why, but he had that one. And I don't think he realized the size of the room. So he went to do the size of the room, and there was like 200 plus people. Needless to say, that Bose L1 did not keep up. Okay. He comes to me afterwards. He was like, I'll never use the Bose ever again. Like, what do you mean? He goes, it didn't work for me. The volume kept going down. The Bose is strange when it comes to different frequencies. Like for me, when I talk in the Bose and the microphone, I don't get volume down. But there are certain people that can make, just because their frequency hits a certain way, and then the limiter kicks in and pushes everything down. So I know that that's the case, and it happens on his particular sound of voice, his frequency. So so he ended up, obviously he went back to his SRXs, but he wouldn't touch the Bose ever again because of that, because it burned him. You only have to be burned one time, and then you're like, I don't want to do it. So he has been just taking like his SRXs, his 815s or whatever for tops when he can't use his 900 subs. The 900s are super loud, super big. The 900s, the SRX 900s sound like the 828s. Okay. So if you guys know that 828 dual cabinet, how great that thing sounds from JBL, that's what the separate 900s sound like on the floor. That's why the 900s are really, really good. Okay. So every time I've been like, oh yeah, these are pretty good. These are pretty good. Nope. So he finally, I had said, well, I heard the Mauis are really good. And then I actually heard them, like, yeah, the Mauis are really good. There hasn't been a place that I've heard them where they sounded bad. And then he happened to do an event where they were using the Mauis. And then he was just like, oh, this is it. These are the ones. I'm like, okay, well, keep in mind, they're not going to sound like your 900 series. That's not going to happen. He goes, no. I only need it for when I'm doing like 200 people versus 300 to 400 people that we normally do on certain parties. So he was back in the Oprah Winfrey studio last weekend. And it was the first time that he was like, he goes, they're still not as good as my JBLs, which they shouldn't be. They really are. They're only using 15s. He goes, but they were much better than the Bose. Still, he sent somebody to go back and pick up one of his subs to just throw in the corner just to fill it up a little bit. And that's it. That's the problem. With all line arrays, there's not a single line array that I would say is like, this is the only one you'll need besides the point source. I don't agree. So anybody that's saying that are lying. They have noise ordinances. They're performing in a 2x2 area. Okay, let's see here. A couple more questions and we're going to get out. Rodney Brown says, do small PA mixers have a shorter shelf life than the larger mixers? Is it wise to replace a small PA mixer after a couple of years? Example, Yamaha mixer with effects. Okay. No, this is just not true. Small mixers don't have a shorter shelf life. They have the exact same life, but it depends on what you pay for. So, maybe that Yamaha is just, the build quality is just not as good as their upper decks. Okay. Or maybe that Yamaha has been sitting and then the pots are getting a little hard, but you won't have any problem. Sorry. If you're using the stuff all the time, I've found that it's been fine. I still have a Yamaha that we use for ceremony sound. I don't have any problems with it. Okay. Oh, gotcha, Mixmaster. Huh. I wonder what's going on. It's probably a YouTube thing. I truly believe that there's something that's been going on just with just the social media channels, because yesterday, I had posted a couple things and normally they do better, and they both were real slow to get building. I mean, they ultimately got to where they're supposed to, but it was very weird yesterday. And it's not like there was anything going on, but whatever. Okay. Maybe for offering to buy your S5 every week. Oh, it's funny. QSC is rider friendly for a reason. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I again, I, I will say this again. Okay, my QSC system with the 12 tops and the 18-inch subs. Okay, my QSC system is good slash good enough. Is it better sounding than my SRX system? No, not my SRX 15s with the A28. No, it's not. Is it good enough? Is it better than the 818s that they used to sell? Those piece of shits? Yes, it's better than the 818s. This the QSC subs hit above their pay. Tops are fine. I don't absolutely love the tops. I'm gonna be honest with you. If JBL could make a 12-inch top that didn't weigh 5,000 pounds, I would get the JBL the what is it, the 812s. Absolutely. In a full range, but they're still big, bulky, and heavy. And I was getting away from heavy. What I'm saying ultimately is you have to decide what's best for you in, you know, your transportation vehicle, the space that you're trying to fit in, just the weight, everything. You have to figure that out. And the older I get, the less I want to carry heavy shit. So my QSCs are that sweet spot. They sound great. They're just heavy enough. They all fit in the back of my F-150 truck. I have a regular cab. Well, I have the dual cab, but I have the regular truck bed, not the small one and not the large one. Large one's ridiculous. So I have the regular one. And I measured my F-150 before I bought my QSCs. I measured it like 42 times. And when I tell you my QSC system, the subs and the highs fit on one side of my truck bed like a glove. Like legitimately the tops they go in face first. I shut my truck bed. It's right there like a glove. So I'm not leaving them. The only time I leave them is when I go with my LDs, with my 28s. That's it. Those are my two speakers. I'm very happy with. Yes, I know RCF makes a 12 that's supposed to be really good. I've heard it at the conventions. It sounds good. I'm not going to perform a judgment on that, not hearing them full out. You know, I mean, as I've said before, the Bose are great if you're inside. You got lower ceilings. It's not a big room. You know, there's not a lunar eclipse. But my LDs, those 28s are good everywhere. Outside, inside, around side. It's just a matter of the amount of bodies you have. You can't run the LDs over 130 people. You can't, unless that room is super small. But up to that 130, they sound amazing. So I stay with them. I like I said, I like the 28s more than I like the 44s. Because I just expected the 44s to be so much better. But the 28s are really good. All right. Grandstand says, can you explain how you run mono out with a mixer to your tops and bottoms? Not sure if you use a Y cable. No. You can run mono out in any situation. Doesn't matter. Keep in mind, look, okay, so if you're running it to a mixer, specifically a mixer, there's a very, very easy way to fix this. If you are running mono out, I mean, technically speaking, if you're running mono, you don't have to run stereo. You can just run a single out to your mixer, keep that thing at 12 o'clock as far as the center, or you can run mono outs. And if you want to, you can run mono outs run them in 2 channels, and then pan them left and right. All right. So you got, because your mixer is still telling the speaker what is left and what is right. So if you pan them hard left and hard right, now you're going to have an equal sound coming out of both of them. If you're running mono, that's what I would do. But you don't technically need to run two XLRs when you're running mono. The JBL Eons have an outdated look, but still sound great. Which ones? I don't believe that the new Eons have an outdated look. The old ones do, like the Eon 515s. Those look old as hell. But the new ones, they look fine, in my opinion. Oh, well, there you go. That explains a lot. That damn YouTube. I try not to look at the numbers, in all honesty, because I feel like the numbers mess with you if you see them. Oh, why are they high? Oh, why are they low? And now you're thinking about that, which I didn't want to do. I should probably check in with my wife real quick, just to make sure that her photo booth is working. She's working one by herself today. Oh, good. Okay. Anyway, the do not disturb is working. This is the first time I've actually put on do not disturb, and I haven't been bothered. So I'm very happy about that. I will do not disturb from now on. All right. Bradley says everybody uses powered speakers these days. Are there any benefits to using amplifiers and passive speakers? Well, yes. The benefit is, typically speaking, passive speakers and amplifiers sound better. There's kind of no way around it. Like I've said, I used to rock JBL MRXs before they changed the naming convention. The MRXs was like the second from the top, and then they changed it, and now it looks like it's cheap, but it's not. I used to rock the MRXs, 15s, and Serwin Vega Earthquakes, and then I put them through a what did I use? QSC. Was it the RMX? Yeah, the RMX 2450 for my highs, and then the 4050s for my lows. To this day, there's nothing that sounds better than that. The thing that came close was the SRX and the A28 combo. That came the closest. That was the closest to it. So that's what I stuck with. So now everything else is kind of a baseline to that system. But in general, an amped system is going to sound better. There are compromises that are made when you put the amp in the speaker cabinet. There's absolute compromises. And it is limited in how much power it can do. It's got a specific power rating. So I'm not going back. Let me be clear about that. I'm not going back. I'm rocking powered for the rest of my life. But to say there's not a difference is an absolute lie. And I don't lie. There you go. Okay. There you go. All right. What are the best light affordable subs? Probably the Akoas from LD. The Akoa line is, I would say, is probably the one that everybody recommends. Why DJs can't get along? That's a good question. I mean, yeah. Some people do that. Some people have envy. Some people it's not even an envy thing. It's just a crazy and weird DJ mind where they just want to critique you all the time. And I'm just like, look, I guess that's my whole point. Besides Thursdays, I tell people, I don't have time to complain about people. I don't have time. I got some time now. We're slowing down for a month, but I don't have time. Like, even when we're slowing down, I still got a crap ton of calls and meetings and everything else, but I don't have time. You know, people are like, oh, what do you think about your I don't have time to think about my competition. I have time to just keep making sure that my product that's going out is as good as it can be. And we're going to find better ways of doing that and better ways of improving. That's it. Those are my things. That's the most important part to me. And I'm not naive. I know that there's great DJ companies out there. I know that, but that's not the issue. Okay. It's not about you being a great MC and coming and taking one of my parties. That's going to happen regardless, because everybody knows, typically speaking, when you're dealing with single ops or a single op with maybe maybe it's a small multi-op. In general, people want the main person from that multi-op. Okay. And maybe they haven't done a good enough job of expressing or explaining or showing people that everybody's good. It took us years to get to that point. Years. So maybe they haven't done that. So I'm not worried that one op is going to take 3 or 4 of my parties. They're going to take one of my parties. And they were probably going to take one of my parties anyway. I don't want to be the only DJ game in town. Because if you're the only DJ game in town, you do get the same risk. Okay, everybody's using them. I need to use somebody else. I'm fine with that. Go use somebody else. Like, what do you mean, go use somebody else? Go use somebody else. Because I need you to see that there's a difference. If everybody just books us all the time and they don't use anybody else, then we start running the risk of, it's kind of like when people are, I don't know, they have an iPhone, right? And they're using their iPhone and it's just working, and they've been using iPhone for 10 years, and things are slow in the way they update, and you look over there at Samsung or Android and you're like, oh my God, look at all those cool features. Look at that. Look at that. I should move over there. And then you move over there. And then you start going, yeah, this feature's cool, but everything else is ruining my whole life. And that's what I try to do. There's always going to be somebody that's good out there, but that your job is to show people that, they're good, but we are always good. And you've seen us so many times that it doesn't make sense to go with somebody else. And if you go with somebody else, fine. You can see the difference. I want people to see the difference. I've flat out told people on phone calls, sales calls, hey, so we're looking at this company too. Oh, who are you looking at? Oh, we're looking at that MC. He's really good. Yeah, if you can get him, and you like him, go for it. What the fuck? You're doing what? Why would you do that? Because lying doesn't get you anywhere. People aren't idiots. They know what's good and what isn't. So by me saying, yeah, they are good, I recognize when somebody's good. Yeah, if you can get, and I always say, this is my spin on it. It's an easy spin, but I'm not talking trash. I'm like, yeah, he's a really good MC. If you can get him, get him. He's really, really good. That if is the variable. Because now I'm saying, well, but if you can't get him, but I didn't say anything. You see what I'm saying? Didn't talk any trash. Smart sales. That's it. Smart sales. It's crazy to believe that you think that you are the best everywhere, that there's nobody better. That ego is crazy. I used to have a guy that used to compare us because, when we were coming up, he was like the main guy. But instead of being like, yeah, well, they're good, but this is also what we offer. He was like, no, there's no way they're as good as me. We are the Disneyland of events, private events. They're Knott's Berry Farm. He would literally use that example. You know who I haven't heard of or heard from in years? That company. So just rep yourself. Tell people what you can do. There's nothing worse when a client says to me, well, how are you different from this company? I don't know. I have no idea how I'm different from this company. I can tell you what I do, and then you can figure out what is different, but I can't tell you how different. I'm not on their parties. I don't see all their parties. Now, I might get some general information about them. Like there's one company in particular that we kind of go back and forth with, and we have a good working relationship. During COVID and everything, we all got together and kind of figured out what we were going to do. So we have a good relationship, but we have a good relationship specifically for one reason. That is because his particular parties, he does bar and bat mitzvahs just like we do, but his style goes a different way than our style. All right. So I know that if a client is booking them, they're booking them for this reason. And if they're booking us, they're booking us for this reason. And anytime we run into a situation where a client books him thinking that he's going to be us, he falters. And anytime they book us thinking we're going to be him, then we struggle. So that's the only person when people are like, well, I'm looking at this people. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about your party. And I've literally said to people, well, we're this. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're this, you're going to want to go with them because that's not what we do. This is what we do over here. I don't tell people we can do everything because that's a lie. And you're just going to end up ruining somebody's party. Well, that was morbid. All right, let me take a look at the notes now. Have you wondered what potential clients would think if they caught your YouTube vlogs? John, have I said anything that was that is untrue, untrustworthy, untruthful, bad mouthing a client? I have clients that actually follow me on YouTube. But have I said anything about a client specifically that went after them or their character? You know what I mean? So I don't fear for anything that I say because everything that I say, I would tell them to. And I think that's the difference. A lot of people, they get all weirded out or, you're talking behind somebody's back and you're doing this, you're doing that. I don't talk behind people's backs because everything that I say, I am not afraid to say in front of them. Not a specific client. I don't know what that means. I mean, not a specific client. Potential clients would think if they caught your DJ vlogs. Again, I'm not saying anything that is out of the ordinary. And remember, if they catch my DJ vlogs, I'm talking to other DJs. And again, I'm not telling people this is how you swindle people. This is how you do this. I've never said anything like that. So I can stand here pretty confident that if anybody were to watch my vlogs, whether it be a client or not, they realize that, first off, it's still business. They would realize that like, I'm not talking trash about anybody or doing, I can share experiences from parties because I think from an experience point, it helps everybody here, and even people that, I mean, look, like for instance, the one I just posted about, the party that I had 2 weeks ago on that Sunday, and I was carrying things through their annoying step garden side of the house, right? If my client would have seen that, because people were like, bro, you're gonna show the client this. What if the client sees this? What if the client sees this? Did I make their house? I didn't say whose house it was. I didn't talk about where it was located. I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say it was ugly. I said for production crews, it's difficult. That's it. And my words were, if you were planning on entertaining people, this is not a good choice for your production people. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Using the exhibit. I've shown people from parties that I've done, hey, you know what? This happened at my party. This was a bad idea. I told the client about it, but I didn't say so-and-so's party and Julia and this at the house. Like, oh, why is my wife calling me? Hold on for 1 minute, people.
All right, guys, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Cleveland Terry. I wanted to just do a quick video about this new unit. It's not out yet. It doesn't come out until
July 31st, it hits market. I have to pre-order it pretty soon, though.
all right, so this is Tim. This is the man, runs this thing. They came out with an amazing product. I haven't tested it yet, but based upon what I'm seeing, this is one of those to beat.
It's a game changer.
Moving platters. It's $700.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing today?
$700. This is gonna sell like hotcakes. So I'm gonna do a review, but tell me just real quickly, like, what made you guys decide to do something like this?
The history of DJing is vinyl, right?
Yeah.
And motorized jog wheels is the best we can get right now,
Right.
in terms of replicating that with a digital controller.
Right.
So the Impulse T7 is our shot at the motorized DJ controller market, and the largest, most premium controller we've ever made.
Okay.
And we're pricing it just like we price everything else in the Hercules lineup.
Super aggressive.
Competitively. Let's call it competitively.
I call it aggressive, he calls it competitively, fine.
We're targeting both, obviously, beginner DJs
Right.
who want to upgrade to a motorized platters,
Right.
or working DJs who want something small, want something portable,
Yeah.
want something that works with Strato Pro.
It has XLR out. Very important for a professional DJ that you have that. I'm impressed so far though.
You'll see more of the T7 real soon.
All right, guys, follow my YouTube because you know we're gonna do this review very, very soon. All right, see ya. Okay. Honey, I'm still on my show. Why? Well, honey, it's just Target. Probably wait a minute. We'll talk after the show. Love you too, honey. She's so sneaky. That's my youngest. She knows how to get at my strings. I realized we did not create a session for this photo booth. She just said the DJ is horrible. So so the lady that asked me to do this event, let me shut this down. It was a family group thing, right? Like it's school. So, you know, all the parents are putting money together to pay for this stuff. So they asked, she was like, oh yeah, what do you charge for DJing? I'm like, it's a day party in the middle of the week, whatever. You know, it's just me personally, you know, I'll do it for this much. Right. And then they said, well, they already have somebody that they're also confirming. So what's the lowest price you can go? And I gave them my price. And they're like, well, that's what the other guy's charging. And I said, uh-huh. And they said, so can you beat him? And I said, why do I need to beat him? I just need to match him. I'm not going to come in lower just so you can negotiate him to come down lower. And then I still don't get the event. I'm not doing that. Right. So, but I knew that it was, it had nothing to do with me. One of the people that booked him, was a client. Hold on. Let me see here. Buckley. One of the people that booked him, it was like a previous client. So I knew that. I knew that was going to happen. So I'm like, I'm not going to play this game. Not going to play this game today. There we go. Okay. But I did say, so my wife ended up booking the photo booth. And I said, let me know how the DJ is. She just replied and said the DJ is horrible, which I knew they would be, you know, but that's the thing. People don't realize the quality of DJs if that's all they see. If they only see one type of DJ, then they think that one DJ is good. If that's all they ever see, until they see somebody better. And then they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. I had no idea that was a possibility. But I'm not going to take less money to do a better job. No. There's a principle here. Principle. Hold on, Buckley. So I got to get this school thing out. If I can spell it correctly. Are there any more questions?
Sometimes you have to. And again, and it's not ego. I want to be clear about that. It's not ego to understand the quality and the skill sets that you bring to the table. That's not ego knowing who you are. Okay. And I just want to make that clear because a lot of people will say, you need to humble yourself. You need to do this. This is not ego. This is just knowing how good I am from doing this for years. That's it. Let's say manage. Hold on. Let me just get the printer up. My wife's going to call me because she guaranteed does not remember how to set the printer up. I know this for a fact. So she's going to call me anyway. And let me just create a quick layout. I really should get off anyway. It is 1:10. So unless there's no more, no discount for ignorance. Superman in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you. What would you bring to the turntables? What does that mean, Jose? What would I bring to the turntables? What does that mean? Let me know. And then that'll be my last question. And then I can get out of here. 13. What is this? June. I don't know what to call this. Buckley. Grad party. That's fine. Okay. Sorry, guys. Duty calls. More like wife calls. So I got to get this done. Or my Father's Day is going to be kind of trash. I'm kidding. All right. See? But again, this is my point though. So I'm not trying to teach her to be more, autonomous, but I've been trying to say, look, I can't be around for all these things, especially if you book a photo booth through Check 1-2, okay, like fine, I will handle everything. But if you don't book it through Check 1-2 and you just use the gear, which I'm totally fine with, you got to be able to run this stuff yourself. I already have a business. I don't want another job. You get what I'm saying? So today she was like, or last night, I need you to check the printer. And I know we need to replace the printer toner and paper. And then you need to put the printer in the thing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, for somebody that's not getting paid for this, I'm sure doing a lot of work. And then I forgot to do the layout. And I said, when you get home today, you are going to log in and learn how to create your own templates. You need to learn how to replace the paper and replace the ink cartridge and all these things. That's what I'm saying. Jose, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you, fam. I'm actually changing my my donations list. I will have an ongoing donations list because my kid is going to LMU next year. So I need all the help I can get. All the help I can get. So there will be a Izzy B college fund happening all the time. Absolutely. Every little bit helps. Let's see now. He's only playing remixes. Hold on. Find out who he is. All right. Check your template now. Okay. I'm an alumni. Hey, there you go. Nice. So yeah, give me some of the alumni money because I don't have it. Okay. Anyway, I know this is going to turn into a thing. I know this because I'm just waiting for my wife to go. But you see what happens when you run your own. Now, look, I arrive at my events, 2 hours before. She's telling me at Let's see here. Still waiting for another extension cord. They have me in the sun in the backyard. This was at 12:50. Hey, where's the template? She asked at 12:50. She's supposed to start at 1. If this were a regular party that I cared about, I would have had all that stuff done with an hour to spare. Anyway. Let's see who he is. She hasn't answered. She's not going to answer in time. I probably know him. Honestly, there aren't too many DJs out there that I don't know. But I mean, no, actually, let me change that. Because there's a lot that I don't know. But usually locals, especially if they're doing like school things that we run, I usually know them. All right. Is it solstice? Stop. I don't know who it is. I just know. I mean, they got to be somebody. I mean, because look, I'm going to tell you what I charge. What I offered to charge them. 1,000. It's 4 hours. It's $1,000. Daytime party. That's it. And if you're thinking that, oh, well, that might be a little high. Okay. The other person came in at the exact same price, which is why I didn't drop below that. So there's that. Anyway, so it has to be somebody who does DJ, because most people would not charge that. I think I asked this, but do you still use the Mixon 8? Is there like a Mixon 8 bot going around? This is like the 4th Mixon 8 question we've gotten. Have I missed something? Or go $9.99. This isn't let's make a deal. All right, that's 1,000. If you're gonna book me off $9.99, first of all, again, they were never gonna book me because of the powers that be. Because like she was like, well, who are you? I laughed. I'm like, are you joking? You know, I'm like, my company is Check One Two, and she's like, oh, the one lady's like, yeah, I've been to like 12 of your parties. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, well, can you give us something? And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, you can literally just go to any page and you'll find us. But I did it anyway. And, but I knew, I'm like, they don't want to book me because whoever that main lady is who already has her eyes are on that DJ, that's who she's going to book regardless. There's nothing I can do. And I'm not going to play the game to try to get a job. I don't need a job that bad. It would have been nice, but no. Okay. The Denon Prime Go, I loved it. What is going on? Oh, maybe what's happening, maybe people are watching the show already on rerun and watching old parts of the video and then replying in real time to that part of the video. Let me make sure I saved it. She's like, it's not there. I'm like, it's there. Oh, just showed up. So the women are the women. And, we try to take care of our women. And I'm sure the same thing can be said for some women that take care of their man. Okay. This isn't a sexist statement here, but, we try to take care of our women and, make sure they have everything and we're going to provide and, whatever we can do it. We try. But on occasion, we want them to be able to handle themselves. And I'm not saying it. My wife is a college graduate. She graduated from like Long Beach State. Like this isn't a dumb woman. She's incredibly smart. Except when it comes to manual labor. But like I said, I don't have a problem if it's on my party or whatever, helping her out, sending out a crew or a roadie or whatever. But like, if it's on you, it's on you. You got to learn. You can't be calling me halfway through your party when I'm in the middle of DJ and like, hey, what's going on? This isn't working. This isn't working. Have you exhausted all options? No, I haven't. Then you shouldn't be calling me right now. And I know that sounds harsh. I do. I really do. But when you're working, your wife's no longer your wife. Your wife is the person working. But they want both of them. They want to be the wife and they want to work. So it's this weird kind of give and take of like, hey, I need you to just do your job. If this was somebody else, they would just listen to what I'm saying and go do it. I need you to be that person. You know, like there's been a couple of times where I've been like, oh, I have this gig for you. Oh, I don't want to do that one. It's this, it's that. Well, you should demand this. I'm like, or I could just put somebody else in who's not going to complain about this at all. So you can choose what you want to do. If you're going to make it difficult, I'm just going to put somebody else in. You know, oh, I have this going on. I have this going on. What if you do all this and then I just come in like, nope. You need to decide. Now, this might be the wrong thing as a husband, but it is what it is. She doesn't need a roadie today. She just needs to be able to do it, Jeremiah. Anyway, all right. It is 1:20. I think we're good to go. I'm gonna have to call her in a minute. Anyway, that's my hourly rate for random non-weekend parties too. Yeah, exactly. Since the pandemic, that's the rate. Nobody's going cheaper than that. Now, I'm not saying you have to go that same rate. Okay. I think it should be based upon several factors. Quality of your DJing, quality of your gear, the consistency, the experience, all those things apply to it. But I know lots of people that'll charge $100 an hour, 150. Hey, more power to you. I'm not leaving my house for that. Okay. But that's just me. But I'm not saying that anybody, not yet, Kenny, Gerald. I'm not saying that anybody should charge $1,000. Okay. I'm not saying that, but you got to know who you are. How do I get, sorry, I just saw this one from Day Night. How do I get into DJing corporate events? Do I call or email? Now, I don't know if Day Night is still here. Hold on. Who's the DJ? I'm asking one more time. I don't know. I don't know if Day Night is still here. But if he was here or if he checks back later on, I'm going to say there's really no such thing as cold calling for corporate events. And I guess the question is, why do you want to do corporate events? Because you hear they pay well, so you want to get into that money? Or are you doing consistent private events and you're like, I'm ready to move to the next step? I guess that would be my question. So you will find that most corporate clients, at least the corporate ones that are like on the up and up, corporate that actually like means business, they have their own party planners. All right. They book party planners. Those party planners bring in whomever they usually recommend. That's just the way it works. Corporate, it's like, I don't want to deal with this. Here, I'm hiring this party planner. Make this thing beautiful. This is the themes we want. Make it happen. So you cold calling saying, hey, I'm a DJ, I can do your corporate events. Probably not going to win anybody over. Now, if you have relationships with said companies, like maybe a friend works for them or a boss or something like that, then absolutely, you can say, hey, let me DJ your corporate, your holiday party or whatnot. But in general, that's just not the way it works. All right, let's see here. Was on Zoom lesson with Ragoza and Vect. He mentioned there's a Q drift in the cross 12s. Is this true? He was speaking from context of juggling. I don't know how much he's juggling, but I did not experience a Q drift when I did it. You saw my Instagram reel. I don't think I was doing anything, not extreme enough for what they do. Now, there is an anti-drift option in Serato that you have to turn off if you want it to be like dead on. All right. And maybe their anti-drift is still on, still active. I don't know, but I didn't experience that at all. Okay. All right. I am definitely ending this at 1:30. That would be 3 hours on this damn show. I gotta find my plug. Hold on. What is this? DJ Civil says, I'm trying to determine a good price to charge for 4 hours. I'm thinking of decreasing my prices again. Website has been dry for a while. Well, website has been dry for a while. Okay, so Civil, give me more context to what you're saying here. Give me more context. Are we saying that nobody's calling you? You know, your interest is done. Context. Where do you live? What kind of events are you doing? I'm even curious about what price you charge. And if you don't want to put it on online, go to my IG and DM me real quick. And let me know what your packages are. But I'm gonna go to is your website DJ Civil? Let's go do some let's go take a look real quick. I will pause for this. Or hold on, let me just plug in my HDMI real quick. That's a good one.
This is a journey into sound. This is a journey. This is a journey into sound. Sound.
Okay. Let's do this real quick. And I think we're good. Okay. All right. DJ Civil, first off, is this you right here, Civil? Let me know. I think it's hard based upon the icon to tell. Yeah, let me is this you, Civil? And let's also go to your website. I don't have a post your website in the chat. I'm seeing a couple civils. I'm seeing one off of in the UK. Is that you in the UK? No, that's civil engineering. That's completely different. Yeah, put in the chat what your website is. Q-birding versus Quays. Who you got? I got neither. I'm staying out of that one. I am staying out. All right, I'm just waiting for, okay, this is probably it right here. I think this is it. Okay. All right. So, first off, is this your front page? No. Let's go to your front page. Okay. I'm assuming this is you, Civil. All right. Your website, you're using a newer layout, so that's fine right there. I will tell you right off the bat that this doesn't tell me anything. You don't even have a picture of yourself in here. All right. So I don't know. This doesn't really tell me anything. And to be fair, you could have come up with a better front picture. Here, let me just show you real quick. I always do this now because just in case something pops up that I don't want people looking at. All right. All right. So this is us. This is my site. All right. You see how all the MCs are there. We got visuals of the parties we do. I got MC stuff that's going through here. You don't have to have a lot. This is all still on the single page. Okay. Got the owners. We got some stuff. And then I haven't updated our actual news section in forever. And then I have the request a brochure up here, but you can obviously flip through. You know, you get to different videos. I'm not saying you have to do much. As you can see, there's not like these are static images, okay? But it tells people a very simple thing. They know how to rock large parties, okay? So when I come to your page and I see an empty box with, you know, just your laptop, and in all honesty, I know this isn't a big deal for people, but for me, I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff. You know, this isn't the cleanest setup that I would have ever suggested for anybody. Okay, now, let's go to your. Okay, so my guess is it's somebody talking about you, or it's one of those online COVID streams that we all did at one point. I'm not playing the music, but that's what I'm assuming. Okay, here's another setup. Party ain't a party without the electric slide. Now, I would say this first off. I mean, I would start with that video. Start with something that shows some energy. Start with something that shows that you're actually doing jams. I mean, look, it wouldn't kill you to change this up a little bit. Okay, I don't have a problem with the table, but this table I'm not using on my advertisements. Okay, this is the one where you're at the party. They're like, you have to use our table. And you're like, okay, so I use your table. I'm not posting that on Instagram or any social media, because that you're going to take a hit by using, you know, this particular thing. It just looks like a lot. Oh, another pro tip. Instead of wrapping your cords like this, okay, take your cords, just have them drop to the bottom and literally just gaff tape it to the back of your poles here. They'll still be out of the way and it'll still be clean. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Okay. So you're running some stuff here. This is good. This is showing you doing some corporate work. I'm a fan of. Yeah. I don't think there's nothing wrong with you per se. I think that I think, oh, and another thing, get this off your page. Okay. What you don't want, and I don't mind somebody asking you for your services, but what you don't want is anything that looks like you haven't gotten work in 7 years. Okay. So get rid of this. Just remove the comments. I'm sure you're probably on like a Wix or something like that. There's a way to just hide the comments. I would definitely hide the comments. Okay. Cause like we do the same thing, like but we don't have comments. I have the comments not showing in the thing, even though people have posted, there are no comments. You just can't see them. Okay. All right. What else do I want to talk about here? Yeah, your website is looking dated. Okay. So if your website's looking dated, which it happens, then we'll go to your Instagram and then check out that. Okay. So move over to your Instagram. Okay. And I don't know, did you DM me with your prices? Not yet. Okay. All right, DJ on May 11th. That's fine. Let's get out of this. Okay, destination wedding. And when, okay. Now, your destination wedding looks like was posted on January 14th. All right. So, and that's the last, they're penned. They're penned. So before I assume anything, all right, this was May 19th. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Hmm?
I've tested this, I've practiced this, and I know for this gig, I did not prepare as consistently as
Okay.
I've done before. This upcoming week was so busy with studying, being a family, being a wife.
Okay. All right. All right. I mean, that's fair. But here is,
Sometimes social media just make people seem real stupid. But you don't know they're real stupid because what they're talking about, you're like, oh man, that's facts. Sometimes you gotta research yourself. So check it out. I'm a DJ, right? Of course I'm a DJ, right? And I'm in the DJ news, right? So Pioneer, everybody knows Pioneer. Pioneer is like well renowned for their audio system. So they were bought out by Alpha Theta. Alpha Theta. Some people are like, what kind of name is Alpha Theta? What kind of name is Alpha Theta? What? Think about the car.
okay. Sorry.
Hertz.
All right.
Hertz.
Okay. So I will say this though. All right. Prices on web 6. It's on the website. Okay. I'll check it out. All right. This is what I will say. I think, all right. And again, I can't make you into something that you are not comfortable with. Okay. But I will say this, we need to update our content on Instagram, because even if you're not doing events, give us some more stuff. Give us some more you DJing at home. You're on the couch or whatever. Give us something that just says, hey, I'm staying current, I'm staying relevant, because your last video was May 19th. I mean, we're getting out, it's almost a month ago. We really should be posting more. I'm not saying post every day. You don't have to do that, but you got to stay consistent, because people look at that. They look at dates and they're like, oh, well, they haven't done anything in X amount of months. There must not be that good. Okay. It is what I'm saying. Also, this is going to sound weird. Okay. But I think that, and again, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You are who you are. So these things you might say, well, that's crazy. Okay. The energy that you're putting off, suggests, see, not sure why they're not printing. I guarantee you, I know exactly why they're not printing, because she never set it up properly. I'm going to have to get a minute. No, you're missing a step. Hold on. Anyway, so I would say personality. I mean, clearly you have a personality. Okay. I'm seeing it in your stuff, but the last 2 videos I saw one was you saying how bad a job you did. And then the other one was saying how stupid people are on the internet. So I'm not saying you can't have that. You know, this is your personal page. You can do whatever you want, and you should have it. But it's very important that you diversify your energy. Okay? Meaning, you know, I have something. You've seen my stuff. There's sometimes I'm talking hard facts, and other times I'm making jokes. You know, people want to see your personality. They want to see who you are. Okay? So that's the most important part for me. Like I'm not seeing there's like I noticed that you did. Okay, here's everybody. All right. I'm not going to let this go because I don't want it to demonetize me. But I will tell you this right now. The everybody into this one, what you do have are words over words. Okay. Now I know you're just practicing and stuff, but that's like instant like faux pas. We want to avoid words over words. It's very, very important. So again, I'm just looking at your curation. Okay. And I noticed that you've doing it for a while. Look, you were having lots and lots of posts. And it looks like, and you were, you know, showing your routines and, you know, doing all that stuff. Got a little Keisha Cole. So I think you are due for a rebranding. Okay. You're due for a rebranding. Not necessarily yourself and the way you are, but just in general. I think that there's more to you. Okay. There's more for you to offer. And I want to see, you know, and look, this is going to sound stupid. Okay. But look, as a black woman, as a black man, I'm going to tell you this facts. Okay. People don't necessarily like edgy black people, you know, and when you're a certain way, you know, people just, they want to form their judgment. So you have to go into it a little more upbeat, a little more happy. You know what I mean? Because that's the key here. We're trying to sell ourselves, and you know, this is what it takes. Now, obviously it depends on what you're doing. If you're rocking for all black people, then we know how our black people are. We get it. But you know, when you're expanding, you have to take that into consideration. But I just think you need to reband. I'm going to go look at your prices real quick. And then I do have to call my wife because she's acting crazy. And let's see here. Where's the little hamburger at? There it is. It took me forever to know that this was a hamburger, by the way. Anyway. All right. Event pricing. Why won't it let me click? Client list, mixing track, testimonial. And look at your website. Look at your Are You Informed? Look when the last time you updated this stuff. Okay? 23. It's over a year ago. You know, you got to look current or people feel like you're going out of business. I don't know why it won't let me click this thing. It won't let me click it for some strange reason. Make it a little smaller and see. Pause. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. All right. Event setup, 4 hours. Okay. Basic speaker setup plus subwoofer, wireless mic per request, digital music library, lighting per request, 900 flat rate. Okay. All right. I don't think that's out of line here. New Year's event galas, company holidays. You can judge like add $50. I think you're underpricing your holidays. I know when you're not having work that it feels weird me telling you that you're underpricing your holidays, but that's too cheap regardless. You're not going to work a whole New Year's Eve for $50 more than you normally charge. Virtual party, which, you know, we're pretty much dead with that one. Dancer party without speaker shut up to 4 hours, $350 flat rate. I think you're undercharging for that too. Okay, so 4-week minimum contract required. What happens if they want to book you a week before? You're not going to take the party? Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, for your event. We'll also prepare a custom mix of songs you've provided up to 45 minutes worth for only $40. Okay, a little side hustle there. All right, I'm not mad at that. Provide set list 7 days prior. Okay. Music list, okay. All right, and then this is where you are in this area. Now, to be fair, the one thing I will say, I don't know the rates for that particular area. Don't know. So it's very possible that you might be too high in that area. I'm not sure. But I don't think that $900 is unreasonable for 4 hours. What I think is that you just have to re-educate everybody with your visuals, with your styles. I would definitely work on my mixed videos because I think that also is showing a little bit of a weakness. Just only put the best of the best out there. Okay. Don't put anything that's like, okay, you know, like words on words. For me, that's a flag. If I see words on words on a party, not even words on words on a party, but on a thing that you specifically recorded and then posted, automatically, I'm just like, nope. So, anyway, so, that's all I will say about that. But I think you just need to rebrand. I think that you just need to up your visuals, you know, give some more you personality, also with a little bit of more happiness, you know, show people, and then go back to like your Chamber of Commerce, go back to the clients that booked you before, see if, you know, if they have stuff or referrals or what you can do, like contact those people, see, you know, see what they're doing, get some general information. You know, I guess the question is, the parties that you book, are you getting rebooked from them? Are you getting any extra stuff from it? Because if not, then you have to look at, well, what am I doing? Okay. What am I doing that it can be improved upon? I mean, I'm not on your parties to hear you mixing whatever or whatnot, so I can't say that. But based upon your mixing, it sounds like, yeah, there could be a little more practice involved in there. And, you know, and then just I think it's there. I think it's just a couple of tweaks here and there, in all honesty. But that's just my opinion. You might take this and go, I don't care what you think or believe. I don't think that's that way, you know. But as a person, when I bring in people and I bring in DJs or whatever, I'm telling you, sometimes Newmark adapter is burned out, is what he's saying. Maybe okay. When I'm doing this and new people come in, energy is really, really important to me. Like really, really important. And if you're giving off an energy that is going against mine, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, you know? So there's a lot of DJs that we pass on. They might be amazing. Okay. I have a DJ right now that is just okay. Just an okay DJ. But this man works his ass off. He listens well. That's key. And he works. So I will take a train wreck or two on a party because I know that he's playing all the right music and that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And he's got a good personality while doing it. Low maintenance. That's it. High maintenance people, I don't want working for me. No, No, if you have to make me think about your parties or make me think about what it is you were going to do or not going to do, I don't want you working for me. So there you go. But now I've been on too long. I got to call my wife before she freaks out on me. So, Civil, if you want to have a chat, DM me on Instagram, DM me. And we can talk. We can talk in detail about it if you want to have a chat. But right now I can't chat. Got to go. Everybody, thank you so much. I'm working this weekend. I'm working and I'm DJing. If you guys are in Southern California, I will be at Bogies, which is now Louis, on Saturday night. I go on at 10:30, 11 till 2 in the morning. I have a gig in the morning or in the midday, and then I'm off from there. So that's at Bogies. I'm going to post something on it today, but hope everybody's having great parties for all the people that are still working. And we will talk next time. Anyway, well, Civil, you're always going to get honesty out of me because I want honesty myself. Anyway, I got to go, though, because I got to call the wife. She's going to get mad at me. So enjoy your day, your weekend. I will talk to you guys. I'll be back on Thursday, and I have several. What's next week? Still not. Okay. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.